Whether you're a professional video editor working for a company or an amateur editing videos for social media, having a laptop with good performance is crucial, as video editing is a demanding task that requires a fair amount of processing power. To help you find the perfect model, we've compiled a list of the 5 best laptops for video editing. Be sure to check link in the description below for prices and additional details. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for the latest tech updates. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. Number 5. HP OMEN Transcend 14 2024. Our best mid-range pick is the HP OMEN Transcend 14, a 14-inch laptop for gaming and workstation applications. This model is available with an Intel Core Ultra 7 or Core Ultra 9 CPU and up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 discrete GPU. All capable hardware for video editing, it sports an excellent 8K OLED display with full sRGB and DCI-P3 coverage, making it suitable for producing SDR and HDR content. While the display's brightness is fine for most indoor settings, it doesn't get nearly as bright as the Apple MacBook Pro 14 M3 2024 in HDR. Also, its glossy finish makes it a bit difficult to see if there's light shining directly on it. Though not as premium as the MacBook Pro, this laptop still feels very well built. The keyboard has good travel and tactility, and the touchpad is large and responsive. You get plenty of ports to connect peripherals and external displays, including 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's, one with Thunderbolt 4 support, and a full HDMI 2.1. Battery life is where it falls short, lasting only around 6 hours of light use. The laptop gets a little toasty when performing demanding tasks, though not to the point of causing discomfort. Another worthy mention is the ASUS ROG Zephyrus G14 2024. It's very similar to the HP OMEN Transcend 14, as it also sports a 120Hz OLED display with full DCI-P3 coverage and is available with NVIDIA 40 series GPUs up to an RTX 4070. The main difference is that it's an AMD Ryzen system. The Ryzen CPUs perform well, but some programs like Adobe Premiere work better on Intel NVIDIA systems, so the choice really comes down to which apps you use. Also, this laptop gets hotter and louder under load. Number 4. ASUS TUF Gaming. A 16 Advantage Edition 2024, the best budget laptop for video editing we've tested is the ASUS TUF Gaming. A 16 Advantage Edition 2024, when configured with a Ryzen 7 7735HS or Ryzen 9 7940HS CPU and paired with an AMD Radeon RX 6700S or Radeon RX 7700S, it has plenty of processing power for intensive video editing tasks. RAM and storage max out at 32 GB and 1 TB respectively. You can upgrade or add more later, as both are user replaceable. As for the display, you can choose between an FHD Plus or a QHD Plus panel. We recommend the latter, as its increased sharpness will allow you to see finer details more clearly. It also has a higher peak brightness to combat glare and full DCI-P3 coverage, whereas the FHD Plus display only has 100% sRGB. This laptop feels very well built for the price. It isn't overly bulky for a 16-inch device, but it's a 16-inch device nonetheless, so you'll need a fairly big bag to carry it. Port selection is great. You get 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's, an Ethernet, and a true HDMI 2.1 port. Unfortunately, there's no Thunderbolt 4 or USB 4 support. Also, this laptop gets hot and loud under load, and there are no biometrics like a fingerprint sensor or facial recognition camera. When configured with a Ryzen 7 7735HS or Ryzen 9 7940HS CPU and paired with an AMD Radeon RX 6700S or Radeon RX 7700S, It has plenty of processing power for intensive video editing tasks, RAM and storage max out at 32 GB and 1 TB respectively. You can upgrade or add more later, as both are user replaceable. Number 3. HP Envy X360. If you're looking for the best laptop for video editing on a budget, the HP Envy X360 is a good choice. When you edit video while on the go, a convertible laptop or 2-in-1 laptop can be handy to boost your creative process. You can use it as a tablet for previewing your source material or exploring transitions with the touchscreen. Then the next minute, load up your complex non-linear video editor and use it with the keyboard. After testing out the HP Envy, we can confidently state that its 15.6-inch Full HD 1080p WLED display looks gorgeous and is more than adequate for video editing on the go. If need be, you can connect it to an external monitor or large screen, TV via its HDMI or DisplayPort via USB-C. While this isn't a 4K 17-inch screen laptop replacement, what you lose by not having an extra-large display and 4K resolution you make up for when it comes to battery life, packed inside is an 8-core AMD Ryzen 7 5700U with Vega graphics, a speedy CPU that makes up for the lack of a discrete GPU in our tests. The Ryzen 7 5500U racked up impressive benchmark scores. It held its own against the more expensive 2-in-1S running an Intel Core 7-1165G7. The Envy X36015 also made short work of our Blender benchmarks, rendering in less than half the time of the ThinkBook 14S Yoga. Based on that, the Envy X36015 is a good option for creatives working to a budget. For an alternative budget laptop, we'd recommend looking for an M1 MacBook Pro or MacBook Air. You can pick up models with the older chipset at cheaper prices now, and they're still creative powerhouses for video editing. Number 2. Dell XPS 17 9730. Big and bold, with a vibrant display, discrete GPU, and outstanding performance, the XPS 17 is a top contender for best video editing laptop overall, especially if you prefer using Windows. But what really sets this apart is that glorious 4K UHD plus display for impressive detail. With a 16:10 aspect ratio, the IPS panel boasts some impressive specs for editors looking for a laptop with color accuracy. There's the 0.24 Delta E, and color spaces are well represented, with 188.8% sRGB and 133.7% DCI-P3. It's a sleek machine, chassis beautifully designed in machined aluminum and keyboard, surrounded by a carbon fiber that will be very comfortable during those long editing projects. It's not perfect. The XPS 17 is large, heavy, 5.37 pounds, 2.44 kilograms, and the battery life isn't the best. We clocked it at just over 9 hours. So it's not one you want to lug around too often, and for the premium price, we expect more than the mediocre 720p webcam. It is brighter than a lot of laptops for video editing, but at around 500 nits, it's not by much with the right content. The MacBook Pro can hit 1,600 nits. But when even the base configuration, SHD non-touchscreen, Intel i7 16GB RAM will give you enough power for basic projects, it's difficult not to be impressed with the laptop's performance for video editing. Number 1. HP Envy 16. Looking for a mid-range Windows laptop for video editing, designed for video editing, photo editing, even game development. The HP Envy 16 is suitably powerful for the price. The laptop's performance for creative tasks proved excellent in our tests. We ran Premiere Pro and Photoshop and had no issues with either, even with high-resolution media and multiple layers. So long as you're not planning on doing heavy AAA gaming on the side, you'll have no problems running creative software on the machine. The display can make or break a video editing laptop, and there's no complaints here. The NV16 features a 1610 4K panel that boasts 100% sRGB, 100% Adobe RGB, and a low delta E for color accuracy, no DCI-P3, which is typically used in video editing.